Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
You have failed this city.
Wow. I know, right? Hey, quit messing around.
I'm not messing around. You're doing important stuff.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me? Who's got you?
It's you the right. What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
But that is being human.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Slav's Free Talk, the Watchtower, where we talk all things DC. I am your host, Slav. How's it going, everybody? It's been a while. I know it's been a few weeks. I was sick. It had some home construction I was doing, remodeling in one of the rooms, and just, life. You know how life can be sometimes. But I kind of also took a step back because I found myself getting a little, I was just having some, I was getting too angry at stupid stuff. We'll just put it that way. So I took a step back, did everything that I needed to do across, with getting my health back. And, I was sick and working on the house. So that's where I've been, if you've been wondering. But now that I'm back, now that things are back moving, I have a fun announcement today. I think a lot of you will be excited about it. But along with that, we have a lot to cover. Things from Hawkgirl to Supergirl to Superman to Zack Snyder. There's so much to talk about. So we're going to dive in and get into it now. So those of you who are watching live, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You can throw a comment in the comment section and I will answer it when I get to that section of the show. Other than that, let's get into all the fun stuff here. How about that? Let's get into the fun stuff. All right. So first up, Isabella Merced, who we know is Hawkgirl, is training for Man of Tomorrow. She posted a little video on her Instagram showing off her muscles on her back and posing with her arms up, saying, "I heart my trainer." This is one of the cool things to see with these superhero films, especially with characters that you're like, are they going to be big characters? Are they not going to be big characters? Who knows? And we saw her in the Superman movie, but she had a very small role. I think that she's really bulking up here because I think she's going to have a big part in Man of Tomorrow. I think a lot of the characters that we've already been introduced to are going to have pretty big roles in Man of Tomorrow. Remember, Man of Tomorrow is not a solo Superman movie. It is a team-up film. So I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But Isabella Merced, hey, she's out there doing her thing, getting ready to play Hawkgirl. And will we see her in the same, Lord Tech get up that she wore in Superman, or will she wear a more comic accurate Hawkgirl costume? That's what I'm hoping for, because I would love to see her and all the characters in more comic accurate uniforms. All right, moving on, and then I will get to things. We have some exciting news about Mr. Miracle. During WonderCon, Tom King talked about Mr. Miracle and praised the partnership with James Gunn and Peter Safran, saying that they worked with them, that working with them has been a fantastic experience, and that the new series will take place in the DCU. And the most exciting aspect of this is that they are done with the pilot episode, the first episode. They're working on the other episodes. He talks about how excited he is about once we hear who the voice cast is going to be. It's an amazing voice cast. So when I sit back and think about this, and we're going to really talk about a lot of this stuff moving on through the show, The fact that they're getting A-list actors, big name actors, to even do the voice cast of a lot of these animated shows. They get great voice casting. Remember, James Gunn wants the voice actors to carry on over. So if they are ever in live action, that voice actor will play the character in live action as well. So the whole aspect and idea that, oh, the DCU is going to just be shelved and thrown away, like everything that's being done, which I think people just refuse to acknowledge, that everything being done is being done for the longevity of the brand. It's being done so that way, hey, we have some great actors who are playing these characters and these roles in animation. If we want to bring them in, they're going to play it in live action. So it's just these actors in these roles are being filled by great actors, and I love to see it, and I think we all love to see it. I'm looking forward to this Mr. Miracle because it's helping build out and expand the world of the DCU so much more. The new gods are there. They're out there. We just haven't seen them in live action, but we now know that they're out there, and that is exciting to hear. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this when it comes to Mr. Miracle. Who do you want to see as the voice cast in this show, and when do you think we're going to start getting some announcements of that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, I do see Donovan is in here. Kevco stopped by, said, "Sup, chat, how y'all doing on this fine Monday morning?" Donovan says, comic book news really needs to face some kind of consequences for spreading misinformation. Eventually he will or not. People are so gullible in today's world, and that's unfortunate. That's why, we saw Mike Kalinowski, I think is his name. He's not pushing back necessarily at cosmic book news, but he's pushing back on another site that's out there that's been throwing ridiculous claims. So the more people that get out there and start calling out the bullshit, the better. But people are so gullible in this world. And not only are they gullible, but a lot of people just want to see the world burn. And those types of people are the ones that are like, we want DCU to fail. So whenever somebody says something stupid and ridiculous, instead of using their brain and saying, oh, this is not accurate, this doesn't seem logical, they just run with it and say, yeah, look what's happening. So it's really dumb. Donovan also says, I really think Hawkgirl is getting her classic outfit in Man of Tomorrow. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Let's see. And Donovan says, Donovan also said, the fact the first episode is already edited really makes me feel like this could release either later this year or early 2027. I think it's going to be a 2027 show. I think they got 2026 all planned out. So 2026, I think, with the exception of one more show, didn't James Gunn say a few weeks back that there's one more thing coming this year that they haven't announced? I don't think it's going to be Mr. Miracle, but maybe it is. But I think that'll be 2027 because they don't have much for 2027 lined up right now. So it would make sense. They'll have Creature Commandos, which, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe you don't want to have two animated shows in 1 year. So if they put Mr. Miracle out in this year and then Creature Commandos next year, that would make sense. I don't know. We'll see. Donovan also says, of course, everyone now hates Tom King because of his CIA background and labeling him a war criminal despite him not being found guilty. Or people are just whatever. It's stupid. Derpy says, hey, dude. Kevco says, Mike had an epic rant sometime this winter on the Snyderverse fans because he was supporting that version as it was going on, but it's over. Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think it, like, people just this is why I stepped away for a little bit, is because this fighting from one side to another is just absurd. It's getting out of hand. It is ridiculous. It's dumb. And if you ask me, I think people need to just, on both sides, I think people need to just say, okay, enough is enough. Like, the Snyderverse is what it is. It's done. It's over. Let's move on. If you don't like the DCEU, don't watch it. Go watch your Snyderverse stuff on repeat. But if you're excited about the DCU, just be excited about the DCU at this point. It's just getting out of hand. Now, that's not to say not to call out misinformation and things like that, but don't let it hurt you mentally in the long run. All right. Lars Eidenger spoke about playing Brainiac. He says, James Gunn wrote to me that he is happy to design the role together with me. I was happy about this formulation because it means that I should not be a vicarious agent, but can contribute. In addition, I train 4 times a week with a personal trainer to be fit, more lean and muscular as the studio requires. So we don't know much about Brainiac. We know that James Gunn took the ideas from pretty much as many Brainiac comics as he could read and kind of meshed them together a little bit. And now we're seeing Lars Eidenger saying, look, I'm working with James Gunn. We're working together on developing this character for the movie. He's also working with a trainer to be more fit, to be more lean, to be muscular. That's cool to see. Kind of expected, but it's cool to see because he is a kind of a skinny, lanky kind of guy. But if he's working with the trainer, that's great to see. I can't wait until we start to see images of Brainiac and images of these new characters and all these characters. Look, I'm not saying from behind the scenes images that will most likely leak in the coming months, but I'm saying official images. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see the official images because those are the ones that matter, not the behind the scenes stuff, because let's face it, people are going to just bitch and complain about all that because they're losers. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about. Let's see. Sid, what is it? City Quest Style 3291 says, I had to leave too. It's not good to think this much about movies, specifically box office. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you sit there and really get into it, it's like people lost are continuously losing their minds. And again, I'm going to say this on both sides, whether you're a DCU fan or a Snyderverse or DCU hater, whatever you want to call yourself or want to call them. On both sides, people were just losing their minds and just getting so worked up over the success or possible failure of the DCU. And then the one side's like, oh, because it's failing, the Snyderverse will be back. You'll see. It's like, why are people so obsessed with it? Like, for me, I love DC. I love DC films. I love discussing what is going to come, what is going to happen. I also don't want people to be misled, and I don't want people like Cosmic Book News putting out information that is completely false. But the fact is, why is there so much fighting? Like, it's so ridiculous. It's so dumb. And if you ask me, I would just rather talk about this stuff like we're talking here about the exciting stuff of what's to come than fighting with one another. So I get it, Sid. I do get it. Let's see. Donovan says, I love hearing that the actors are working with Gunn on the characters. Says, and some people claim that Gunn has an ego and only cares about himself, yet he does stuff like this. And he says, I can't wait for the Man of Tomorrow teaser, which if everything goes according to plan, could be released in December. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. December probably will be the first teaser, as we're starting to see a trend here the last couple years. But yeah, I mean, you said it there, Donovan, also. People love to claim things about James Gunn, about how he has an ego, how he doesn't work with people, how it's his way or no way or the highway, whatever. And it's kind of like we're seeing right here. And all these actors, and let's be honest here, all these actors would not be happy and more than willing to work with James Gunn if it was a bad working experience, if they didn't feel like they could showcase their skills and their art and things like that. They wouldn't want to work with James Gunn. But we hear time and time again for the last 15 years that working with James Gunn, him being a director, they love working with him because of the type of director he is and how he works with the actors. So, there's people that sit there and try and claim one thing. Again, they just love to throw negativity around. Sid says, honestly, leaving X is the best thing I ever done. All right. Next up. This is an interesting little thing. So James Gunn posted this photo about a week ago. A little less than a week ago. It says Stag Industries plaque on the set of Superman. So this was from the set of Superman. This wasn't for Man of Tomorrow. This wasn't for anything that was upcoming. But it's very interesting. First off, it's cool to see that they get this, they worry about details so much that they put a plaque like this and it actually has wording on it. The original Delaware-based shipping business, I mean, they have a background to this. Great to see. But people are kind of freaking out because it says, be bold and be brave right down at the bottom. And people think that, hey, is he insinuating or maybe alluding or teasing a possible Brave and the Bold announcement coming up? Maybe, I don't know. We saw him doing this. He did and this is why I think it's a possibility, because we saw that he, about a month or so ago, posted an image of the Chocos or the cookie boardroom from Superman. Let's not forget that there's a boardroom in Superman for the famous cookie that Martian Manhunter loves. And everybody took that like, why is he posting this? Like, what's the point of posting this and showing this image? And people are thinking, maybe that means Martian Manhunter is going to be popping up. I think it's a very good possibility that that's what he's doing with these. Maybe this means Batman's going to pop up in Man of Tomorrow. Maybe not. I don't know, but I just think it's cool. I like this kind of stuff because it's just a little bit of fun. That's what it is. A little bit of fun, and a little bit of fun can go a long way when it comes to this genre of filming. So I do love to see that. And now we also have exclusive from DCU Direct, I guess. DC Studios' Jimmy Olsen series will be a crime mystery comedy, confirms the co-showrunner Dan Peralt. I love this idea. And I know there's people out there bitching and complaining and crying and whining. We don't want this. Then don't watch it. But the thing is, this is right up the alley of James Gunn, which makes sense. People want to like the thing that really annoys me about this is they sit there and say, we don't want the comedy. We don't want the jokey. But they refuse to acknowledge that Lanterns and Clayface are coming. They refuse to acknowledge that Supergirl is going to be more dark. They refuse to acknowledge that. They just sit there and say, oh, well, we had Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, and Superman, which were all jokey. First off, Superman wasn't all jokey. It had jokes in it, but it wasn't all jokey. This show, this Jimmy Olsen show, sounds like a lot of fun. A crime mystery comedy. I think that's going to be a lot of it. And we know that Gorilla Grodd's going to be part of it. So this whole mystery and mind control and different things, again, building out the universe in a way that we have not seen these universes built before. And that's what people have been crying and begging for 10 years or more. We don't want the MCU way, they said. We don't want the MCU way. It didn't work what they tried with the DCEU, so now they're trying it this way. And I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's different. It's cool. It's inventive. That's what you need to do. You need to try different things and push the bar and go in different directions, because when you do that, that's when you find gold. That's whenever you'll sit there and find new audience, and the audience will appreciate that. Hey, you're challenging them, giving them something different. We're not seeing the same formulaic structure that was the MCU. And that's what I love to see. This is exciting. I was kind of hoping when I first heard this, I was like, man, what if it's like unsolved mysteries? Like it's an unsolved mysteries type of show where Jimmy Olsen is, he gets a TV show and he's sitting there. Well, there's been a mystery and this, and he kind of talk like that. I think would be a lot of fun. Again, little things like that. And I don't think that's what it's going to be. But again, I sit there and think like the possibilities and the ideas and the direction this could go. There's so many cool things that they can do with this. And people who want to sit there and bitch and complain about it are just losers. Those of us who are excited and want to see and curious and are interested, hey, let's see how it plays out. Maybe it sucks. Then it's over. It's done. They tried it. They move on. But hey, what if it turns out to be great? What if it turns out to be a huge hit? It's because they took a chance. And that is what I love to see. But I want to know your guys' thoughts on this in particular, this Jimmy Olsen show. What do you think it's going to be? Are you excited that it's going to be like a mystery comedy type of thing? Who do you think is going to pop up? I mean, we're going to see Gorilla Grodd. We're going to see Jimmy Olsen. Do you think we'll get little cameos from Superman or Lois or other people? Like, let me know your thoughts. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. What do we got over here? We got Blood Ocean says Twitter cultists will watch anyways, just looking for something to complain about. Very true. Let's see. Kick Knowledge Smith says they never acknowledge the other creatives. Gunn didn't direct all of Peacemaker, and he didn't direct Creature Commandos either. No, they never do. They never do. The crazy thing is, I sit here and I wonder this all the time. What did James Gunn do to them? Like, honestly, let's like really think about this, okay? The hatred, the animosity, the vitriol that they have for James Gunn. Why is it even there? What did he do? It's almost like they're acting like he killed their puppies. Like, it is that bizarre. It is a disturbing type of thing. Like, it is a derangement syndrome. It's very similar to, and it's going to be a little political here, but the people who freak out and whine and cry about Trump all the time, that is the same mentality they have about James Gunn. The difference is when it comes to Trump, he is truly affecting your lives. He's pushing policy and doing political, and he's the president of the United States. So, people freaking out about that, I can understand it a little bit more, although some of the crazies are kind of crazy out there. But when it comes to James Gunn, what is their obsession with bitching and complaining about him? And the funny thing is a lot of them claim to be conservative and make fun of the people who have the Trump derangement syndrome. But it's ironic because they have gun derangement syndrome. They've lost their damn minds over a creative who hasn't affected their life one iota, hasn't done anything to them at all, and they act like he killed their puppy. It is so bizarre. It is so bizarre. And people, and they'll try and sit there, well, people act the same way with Zack Snyder. No, people don't act the same way with Zack Snyder. People just, the people who don't like Zack Snyder have always said, look, I don't like Zack Snyder. I don't like his stuff. I don't want to see his stuff. It's over. Move on. They don't sit there and try to get him fired from other projects. They don't sit there and try and end his career and end his life. James Gunn did nothing to them, but they act like he killed their puppy. It's bizarre to me. Absolutely, absolutely bizarre. I don't get it. Let's see. What do we else got over here? Blood Ocean says, insert Unsolved Mysteries theme. Let's see. Donovan says, I fully expect them to flesh out the Daily Planet characters. Donovan says, Gunn ruined their careers. No, if it's James Gunn derangement syndrome, it is. Douglas Fryer said he did nothing. If it was someone else in charge, they would be the same towards him. You're right. That I've said that many, many times. Anybody else that would have been in charge of DC, they'd be treating the person the same way. Kevco says they've been mad since he did the Suicide Squad and killed off some of Ayer's characters. Yeah, I don't know if that's it, but Emo Nerd Girl here said, hey, bud, hope you're good. I am doing well, Emo. Glad that you could stop by. Hope you're doing well also. All right. So now to the fun thing that I want to do. The announcement that I have for today. Now, you guys know that over the last number of years, I've been working on a nonfiction book, and it was covering DC from around 2009, roughly 2009, all the way up to 2022, specifically the DCEU era. So it kind of covers everything that's DCEU related. And I've been working on it. I've had a few people, I sent copies to them to kind of help me out and to read it, to make sure things sounded right, make sure punctuation was good, so on and so forth. And I wanted to get that all done. I wanted to get that. I wanted to make sure that it was as done as possible. Now, I understand that it's not going to be 100%. Like, there's going to be things that I miss because there's just so much. And I wanted to keep the structure down to a point where it was kind of like, hey, this is what happened. This is how things happened. This is what we were all told that happened. And this is how some people are acting. You make the decision on if it could have gone a different way, essentially. So with that, it's called The Snyder Effect. And I announced the book a couple months ago saying, hey, it was coming. It would be out this year. And I'm right on schedule, guys. It's coming out. That's right. So real quick, the other day, I posted online the cover. I revealed the cover online, and let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. So I revealed the cover, the official cover, Snyder Effect, Modern Myth Making in the Age of Fans, Scoops, and Studio Chaos. So there's the cover for the book. What's great is once I got to this point, I knew it was only a matter of weeks until it would be released. And that's where we're at, guys. That's where we're at. We are at the moment where the book is going to be out in just a couple weeks. Right here it is. Now this is the not for resale. This is the copy that I get to verify and read through. But this is a hefty book, guys. It's not a small book. It's got 170, what is it, 177 pages or something like that. It's a nice book covering, like I said, the DCEU. A little bit of it starts back in like 2009, but it really picks up in 2013, obviously, with Man of Steel, and moves all the way through 2022 to where The Flash came out, or was that 2023? Whenever The Flash came out, that's where it ends. And it starts to allude to the future as well of the DC franchise. This book, I think, is very important. I think that this is going to be a really, really cool book for people to learn a lot of different things of what happened, what appeared to have happened, and maybe not happened like everybody says. I made it very unbiased. I've gotten, like I said, I've sent it to a few people, and those people have all come back to me and stated, look, you are unbiased in this book. You don't sway one way or the other. As the author, you stay straight down the middle. And I did that because I want you, the reader, to actually determine how the outcome was, if it was justified, if it wasn't justified. The moments that happen throughout the story, is it justified? Is it not justified? So I get it. You guys want to know when it's going to come out, full physical release on your book. Well, the physical release will be out on April 13th. April 13th, it'll be available on Amazon. Physical book as well as digitally. The digital I don't like as much. Now, there's no pictures or anything in it. There aren't. But I think that the physical, it's a nice book. There, you can get a hard copy or a paperback, either one. You can get them, and yeah, it comes out on April 13th. So we're talking about 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now. So that's exciting. Now, I see over here, Cozy Lion says, any plans for it to be an audiobook? I did not have plans for that. It's funny, though, because I thought about that a few weeks ago. I was like, should I do an audio version of it? Because it's not very big. Now, I don't know anybody that would be willing to read it for the audio version and things like that. Donovan says, get Ray Porter to read it. But yeah, I think maybe down the line, but nothing imminent at all. I want to see how it does, obviously, and we'll go from there. If it's a demand that people really, really want, then yeah, maybe I'll look more into it. But definitely excited. Definitely excited. Kevco says, would you be willing to read it? Would I be willing to read it? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. I don't know how long it would take to do. I've never done anything like that, so I have to kind of read up on and research how and the best way to do that, but maybe. Let's see. But yes, it will be out April 13th on Amazon. You can look up the Snyder Effect on there and yeah, go from there. All right. Let's see. I am seeing things. Oh, what is this? Supergirl Will Call You Back Tomorrow. Lands in theaters June 26th. There is a new trailer or teaser or something. James Gunn just posted 1 minute ago. Interesting. Let's get to this. Let's see here. I don't know if he'll be. Well, that's that guy. Let's do this because I want to make sure we can hear it as well. So let's do this. So it's a full trailer coming tomorrow, it looks like. So we got a teaser today. Come on, share screen, window. There we go, share. There it is. Okay. So let's see.
Hey, it's me, Clark. You know, I'm just worried because, well, you know, we miss you. I was just touching base to see when you think you might be coming back.
It's that guy. Old iPod. So it's a little teaser for a trailer tomorrow. Interesting. I was not expecting a trailer for April, or not even April. I mean, it's still March, right? I mean, yeah, March 31st tomorrow. So interesting. I'm digging it. I'm excited. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, there's not much. It shows us kind of the bedroom from the very first teaser with Crypto walking through, but I think the big thing is this here. We're seeing Superman. He looks kind of small and skinny here, doesn't he? Kind of looks a little small and skinny right there. I don't know, but we see her playing with an iPod, an old school iPod, which is weird. But yeah, new trailer tomorrow. So yeah, interested. Interested for sure. Interesting to see for sure. For sure. So yeah, we will get on that tomorrow, I guess. I guess I'll be jumping on and doing a video about that tomorrow. That should be fun. All right. So speaking of Supergirl, because what the heck, we got to keep moving with our show today, right? We got to keep moving. Speaking of Supergirl, oops, that's not what I want. There we go. Supergirl apparently has a budget of $100 million. That's a rumor. And personally, I think it's probably going to be closer to 150. No more than 150. No, definitely not 200. I don't think it's going to hit 200, but I could see 150. $150 million for it, I think, is very reasonable and understandable. I don't know where people are getting this number, this $100 million. They say then it would need $250 million to break even at the box office. Again, I think this movie is slated to probably hit about 5 to 600 million, between 5 and 600 million, I think is what this movie can do. And I think that $100 to $150 million budget is right on par with what it should be. And I think that's what a lot of these movies should be moving forward. But superhero movies, their budgets have just gone astronomical lately. So for me, I think, hey, this makes sense. I like this. I think it's a good idea for it to be that low, but we'll see. Again, we never really know what the final budget is for a movie plus marketing. We don't ever really know the final amount, but it's comforting to know, like, hey, or to speculate or think that they made sure the budget is down lower, that it's a bit lower, and that it's going to help its box office and be profitable much sooner. Again, people will still complain. People will still sit there and say that, oh, you know, it needs to make $7 million because, or $700 billion because it's Supergirl. It should make more. Like, they're going to say stupid stuff like that. But we know that honestly, this movie just needs to do around 500, between 5 and 6. It'll be exactly where it needs to be. And just excite fans, people like it, and start building and continuing to build the confidence in the DC brand. That's what is most important about this. So yeah, it's exciting to hear and see for sure. Cozy Line says, any guesses on how much this film will make? I mean, my guess is I think it's going to make between 5 and 600 million. I do. I don't like, we got to see more for me to have like a real solid estimation. Let's not forget, I mean, when it came to Superman, I said I thought it was going to make 700. 700 was my estimation for Superman, and I was off. My original thought for Supergirl was like 6 to 650, but I've kind of backed off of that a little bit. So I think between 5 and 6 is kind of a comfortable place to be, but who knows, maybe tracking and everything will be astronomical once we start getting closer to it. But I think it's comfortable 5 to 6 for sure. Douglas says, I heard some saying it has to make $1 billion. People are ridiculous. Kick Knowledge Smith, I highly doubt they would go crazy at the start of the new universe, which is smart. Good reviews is the goal. Money will come later. Exactly. Douglas says, I think it'll make 450 to 550. Blood Ocean says $1 billion was never the standard. It's never been the standard ever for anything, ever. And yeah, people are just ridiculous for sure. Definitely crazy. All right, moving on. We have a rumor. Superman will reportedly have an expanded role in Supergirl with 2 new scenes added. One includes a FaceTime interaction with Kara and another at the end of the film. Well, we now know that Superman is definitely in the movie and that he does have at least a scene where he tries to FaceTime Kara. So that much is absolutely true. Now, this was coming from My Time to Shine Hello, which meh. But hey, I mean, it's stuff to talk about. And I think they would be foolish to not have Superman in this movie more so than not. I think if they have areas where he fits into the story and fits in with the progression of the overall story, absolutely have him in there if you can do it. If not, you don't want to force him in there. Absolutely, you don't want to force him in there. But I do think it's important to put him in the movie for a couple reasons. One, Superman was a massive success. People loved Superman. People loved that movie. So to see him continuing and being in the next movie and being in the next project and doing this and doing that is going to push and entice the fans to go see the film. So that's something that you want to do with the marketing. It just makes sense logically. So yeah, it makes, I'm all for it. It makes sense. I like it. And I hope that he's in a few scenes. I hope it's not just that one scene. I hope it is a few scenes. But again, I don't want it to be at the detriment of the story. I want it to fit and flow well with what is happening in the movie as well as the overall story. So I'm all for it. I think it's great to see. And Corn Sweat, despite him looking a little thin in that trailer, I think, or that teaser we just saw, I think it'll be perfectly fine. And then this is funny. David Cornsworth Superman will reportedly appear in the next Supergirl trailer. Well, that has been confirmed. So go follow this DC Verse Zero guy. Maybe he knows what he's on to. Maybe. I don't think I follow him. Nope, now I'm going to follow it now. There we go. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely see how that goes. I mean, will he be in the trailer? I don't know. But it's fun. It's great to see that kind of stuff happen. All right. Getting off the Supergirl stuff. This story I think is really, really interesting. This story here. Now, if you remember way back like 10 plus years ago, Phil Lord and Chris Miller were attached to the Ezra Miller Flash movie. They were attached to it. Like they went through like 7 different writers and like 5 directors and a whole bunch. Like it was a whole hodgepodge of a mess. They couldn't get this story right. Phil Lord and Chris Miller were 2 of the guys, that were brought on to make the movie. Well, yeah, they walked away. And oddly enough, there's a lot of times when a movie is almost made or a script is made or a script is put out there, it'll find its way online. It'll leak its way online, and you'll see different podcasts talking about it, different YouTube channels talking about these scripts on what could have been. We've seen it with Justice League Mortal or Justice League or Superman Lives or the old Batman v Superman that almost came out in the early 2000s and so on and so forth. That Green Arrow Escape from Supermax movie. Like we see those things, those scripts eventually get out. This one, though, apparently has yet to see the light of day, as Phil Lord and Chris Miller remain tight-lipped on their scrapped Flash film, leaving the door open for DC Studios to revisit it. They say, we had a very elaborate treatment that we really liked, pretty different than what ended up. It's a good idea that I'm afraid to not be able to use someday. Now, that's great to hear. That's cool to see. That's cool to think about. We do need a Flash. We do need a Flash movie sooner rather than later. However, my concern with this is that their story, I think, was going to be very similar to what they did in the actual Flash film. I'm not going to say it's exact. I don't know. But I think that there was this whole aspect and this idea of that they had to utilize the multiverse. They had to showcase a lot of different aspects of that. And I think that was a running ask from all writers from Warner Brothers back then. I don't think it fits right now in the DCU. Is it something that they could build up to? Maybe 1 or 2 Flash movies down the line? Maybe. Or are they talking about how, hey, these aspects of the film can be utilized in something else, and we don't want to reveal it here and say this was going to be for a Flash movie, but hey, our next movie that we're doing in 2 years, we're actually going to use that aspect in that movie. It has nothing to do with DC or Marvel or anything. It just fits with what we're doing here. That's a possibility as well. But I would not mind. Look, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, I think, are great storytellers. They're good directors. What the heck? Look at the movie that just came out now. I mean, it's doing huge. It's doing great. So I would like to see them in DC. I absolutely think they would have a lot of fun in DC. Maybe they could be the next Russo brothers, but just for DC and not Marvel. Look, they're the producers on the Spider-Verse saga. And I think they got their start. Didn't they get their start doing television with like How I Met Your Mother or something like that? Like, it's crazy where these guys come from and what they've been able to do. And let's not forget, they do have that big mark on their resume, though, when it comes to Star Wars, a Star Wars story, or whatever the heck it's called. Remember, like, they were making that movie and then it was almost complete. And Lucasfilm was like, get out, you're gone. Let's bring in Ron Howard. So like, that's kind of a little blunder on their resume. But besides that, everything that they've pretty much put out has been solid and good and to some degree. So I'd be for it. I really would be for it. Now I'm curious to see what this story is, or this story element, or whatever it is, was in this movie that they're staying tight-lipped on. I think it's cool to see that they have that kind of stuff. But hopefully James Gunn sees this and dials them up and says, hey, we need a Flash. What do you guys say? So it'd be cool to see. But let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Let's see. Donovan says about Superman, him looking thin is because of the camera angle. Kick Knowledge Smith, I always expect him to appear since she appeared in his movie. Yeah, I don't see why people wouldn't think that he would appear. I think it's always been expected. Donovan, I feel like they could do a Flash film down the line, but not for a few years because the Flash. Honestly, I think we're far enough away from it at this point. I do. I think that we're far enough away from it at this point that they could just introduce a new character, a new actor as Flash, and do a Flash movie, and people would be fine with it. Let's see. Blood Ocean, did someone leave a flash drive in the airport bathroom? Zing. Kick Knowledge Smith, I wasn't a fan of the Flash movie, but I like the Batman stuff in Supergirl. I hope Sasha gets another opportunity in the DCU. She might. I know, she's a good actress. Yeah, she is a good actress. Let's see. Donovan says that we won't be getting a Flash film for a long time, especially after the failure of the last Flash film. Yeah, probably. I mean, that's the thing. Who knows what James Gunn has up his sleeve? Personally, I think that we're fine. I know that there's the failure of that Flash movie, but it wasn't because it was Flash. You can't sit there and say it's Flash, the character, is what caused that movie to fail and that it didn't work, because the Flash had a successful TV show for 8 years, 7 years, 9 years, whatever it was, like on TV, and it was successful and people went and watched it and people loved it. Granted, it fell off after like season 3, but still, it was there. It was big. It had its moment. So it isn't the Flash that killed that movie. So if you go and you make a new Flash movie, if you bring a new Flash into the DCU and you do it properly, you build the character up properly, and you have a good, fun movie and do it properly. And again, I like the Flash movie, but if you do it properly and hit all 4 quadrants of the fans and audience, yeah, you probably will be successful, and that old Flash movie just won't have any relevance at all to the success or failure of it. Blood Ocean said Peacemaker made a cameo in Superman. Guy Gardner made a cameo in Peacemaker season 2. So did Hawkgirl. And Maxwell Lord. Donovan says, I mean, aside from the stuff with Ezra, the movie was subpar. The VFX looked absolutely unfinished, and just like with Wonder Woman 84, the film has put a large stain on property and character. It's going to be some time before we get him back. I don't think that's what they're worried about at this point. I mean, that was 3 years ago now. If they wanted to make a Flash movie, if they went to Phil Lord and Chris Miller today and they said, hey, we want to do this, we wouldn't see the movie until probably 2028. I mean, that's being generous because they have other stuff on their plate and they have things going, and that's the earliest. So then you're talking about 5 years or more since the last Flash movie. I think it would be perfectly fine. I do. I think it would be fine, but it is what it is. All right. Supergirl test screenings. I completely forgot about this story, so we'll talk about this now. Supergirl test screenings have mixed reactions after 8 cuts, 3 endings, in a darker tone than the comics. This is coming from comicbookmovie.com. It says a new report sheds more light on Supergirl's recent test screenings, including multiple endings, a darker tone than the comics, and an approach that borrows from Guardians of the Galaxy. Test screenings are vital for movies and help a filmmaker in the studio figure out what the audiences are and aren't responding to. When Sinners was first shown, the audiences in 2024, it had a nearly 3-hour runtime and received low scores. Ultimately, the finished cut was critically acclaimed and won Oscars. There's been chatter about Supergirl test screenings taking place since last year. Most have skewed negative, but looking closer at the reactions, it sounds like a good, not great movie that sees Millie Alcock and Jason Momoa shine as the woman of tomorrow in Lobo. World of Real has a solid track record of test screening leaks and reports today that Supergirl has been screened at least 8 times, more than any other studio film from the past decade. At least 3 different endings have been used, with the latest version running for around 1 hour and 50 minutes, with a more prominent role for David Cornsweet's Superman. The site reiterates that Alcock's Supergirl remains a highlight, but reactions have been consistently mixed. Not disastrous, but not glowing either. The report adds several sources mentioned that the action sequences don't quite land and that the main villain, Krem, feels underwhelming. That is an old thing. I'm going to stop right there. That's something that was old that we heard months ago. That the villain, I should say, Krem, was underwhelming. And that's to be expected with these first films. It really is. It's rare that you get a Joker-like performance from a villain. You don't get that. You don't get that Heath Ledger Joker performance from villains. You can literally sit there and talk about almost every superhero movie that has come out in the last 25 years, and maybe 3 of them have solid villains. 4 of them, maybe. I mean, honestly, like, think about it. Because the focus is so heavily on the hero of the movie and their journey. It's not about the villain. So the villain is typically very one-dimensional, very, very underwhelming. It's just what it is. Do we deserve better? Absolutely we do. But audiences don't want to sit there for 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get both a journey and a story from a villain as well as the hero. Tom King and Bilquis Evely's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is a visual delight with bright colors and sweeping cosmic landscapes. The Supergirl teaser trailer featured far murkier visuals, but there may be a reason for that. Tonally, the movie is said to be darker and more character-driven than traditional superhero fare. The site explains, leaning heavily into Kara's emotional trauma and moral ambiguity rather than lighthearted heroics. She's described as jaded and at times reckless. In terms of music, even with the movie on its 3rd composer, it sounds like we should expect Guardians of the Galaxy style needle drops. It's unclear how involved DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn has been with Supergirl, but both the sets and character designs we've seen wouldn't look out of place in that Marvel Studios franchise. Krem of the Yellow Hills has been compared to Taserface. Supergirl's latest cut supposedly had a space western vibe with a more episodic planet-hopping structure, but whether DC Studios has now finally figured out how to make the movie work or scrambling to salvage it remains to be seen. Why are they sitting here saying scrambling to salvage it when they're saying, look, the movie is good, it's just not great? Like, that's what the reports are, is it's good, not great. Why would they scramble to salvage anything? Like, that's just ridiculous. It's possible that test screening reports are being blown out of proportion, but if Supergirl doesn't deliver, it could be a big problem for Gunn and Safran. It won't be a big problem for Gunn and Safran. Hopefully, this much ado about nothing. So yeah, that is kind of the thoughts going around now. Obviously, look, before the movie even started filming, I heard reports of some things that made me worry about the movie. I wrote an article about it back then and everything like that. But seeing the visuals, seeing the teasers, things like that, it's got me excited. I think I'm excited for it. I want to see what it is, because I don't judge a movie on just rumors. I don't judge a movie based on what some random people are saying about it on the internet. I want to see the movie. I want to judge it for myself. The movie could end up being terrible. It could end up being great. It could be subpar. It could be right down the middle. We don't know yet. But the fact that there's these test screenings, and they say 8 test screenings, it's kind of hard to believe. First of all, I find that hard to believe, because again, you get what you need after 1 or 2 test screenings. You typically get a feel for, is it too long? Is it too short? Is it too focused on this character? Do they want to see more of this character? Do they want to see that? So they get that after a couple test screenings. After that, they go back and they see, hey, can we fix those issues with just editing? Can we maybe shoot a couple pickups, do that kind of thing? And they typically will do that before the very first, or not the very first, but they typically will try and get that done before they have their additional photography session. After that, maybe they do 2-3 more test screenings, and that's about it. A lot of the test screenings they're probably talking about were probably just for like the executives, is my guess. But 8, it's hard to believe that. 3 endings, yeah. A lot of movies will do that. A lot of movies will have kind of different directions for different endings in the way things end, just because, hey, let's see what lands better. Sometimes it's a happy and sad, and sometimes it's kind of a mixture of both. Sometimes, I mean, come on, it's what they do. It's what, when they sit down and they look at things and they say, okay, the movie's going in this direction. Ideally, the movie should end like this. And sometimes it just doesn't land for the audience. So they go, okay, well, maybe it needs to be more akin to this, because when people leave a theater, they want to feel happy. They don't want to feel sad. So yeah, things like that happen all the time. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about this movie. Look, I think somebody said it best, that Sinners had some mediocre test screenings. Apparently, that was the rumor going on, and it was a top contender for picture. It should have won Picture of the Year at the Oscars, but it was the contender, one of the top 2 contenders for Picture of the Year. And it won a bunch of Oscars for other things. So, like, when you hear these things about the test screenings, you got to take it with a grain of salt. And you have to understand, a lot of times when they put these screenings to the audiences, to the test audience, they're incompleted films. They're not where they want the film to be in and of itself. Sometimes it doesn't have the additional photography. Sometimes it doesn't have all the special effects. Sometimes they remove things purposely because they thought, maybe we shouldn't add this. And then it gets back to the audience. Well, we didn't understand this. And they're like, okay, then we got to add this back in. It's not always what they're showing the test audience is almost never the true vision of what the director wants. So why people freak out about these test screenings? And the crazy thing is this is happening majorly with DC right now. Like last year, we had the same thing with Superman. People were freaking out about test screenings. Now they're starting to freak out about test screenings for Supergirl. We hardly, honestly, before 2024, we hardly ever heard about test screenings for movies. Sure, it would pop up here and there, but all of a sudden, we're hearing it all the time. It's specifically with comic book movies. That's absurd. That's stupid. Just let it be, guys. Let it be. It's old. Let it be. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say, or what you guys think about these test screenings for Supergirl. So let me know in the comments below. What are you guys saying over here? I need to take a drink. Hold on a sec. Water does a body good. All right. Blood Ocean says it's probably not finished with polishing and ending yet. We have 3 months left. 100%. Donovan says feels like Superman over again. Blood Ocean again. The marketing and general audience is important, very important. Douglas Fryer says I watched Sinners the other day. I thought it would have been better. It was okay, but wasn't brilliant like people were saying. I think it was the best movie of the year. Out of the movies that I saw last year, I think it was the best movie that I watched last year. It was fantastic in my opinion. But I get it. I mean, it's not for everybody. I'm a big vampire buff. I love vampire films. And I know that the vampire aspect of it was very small, but I love that movie. I thought it was great. Blood Ocean also says test screenings are par for the course, same as reshoots. Yes. Cozy Lion, I ain't judging until I see the final product, as everyone should be. We should not judge movies until we see the final product. So yeah, I think that's very important there. Let's see here. I want to do something. What is going on? That's not what I want. Okay, whatever. Not working. Okay. Moving on to the final thing. I left the best for last, guys. I left the best for last. James Gunn leaving DC before Man of Tomorrow. Zack Snyder has discussed return. Now, I'm reading this from the website That Park Place. And I get it. Some people hate That Park Place. I have used That Park Place for years. I think the site used to be really good. It's kind of dropping in quality quite a bit. But let's get into this. All right. New questions about James Gunn, Zack Snyder, and the future of DC Studios are being raised. A series of social media posts from Cosmic Book News tied to WonderCon are fueling the conversation. They suggest that Gunn could potentially leave DC and that Snyder could resume storytelling duties with some of the company's most iconic characters. While the outlet's posts are unverified by any of the individuals or parties involved and can only be taken as rumor and speculation, they highlight the unusual situation at Warner Brothers and DC Studios. First claim Cosmic Book News makes is that James Gunn expected out before Man of Tomorrow. Gunn, in addition to his leadership role at DC Studios as co-CEO, is writing and directing the next Superman movie. Removing him from his co-CEO position mid-film may seem unlikely. However, earlier this year, Gunn referred to his dual roles as an experiment. He added, "I still don't know if it's sustainable long-term. It's a lot. There just aren't enough hours in the day." Notably, his contract with DC Studios runs through spring of 2027. Man of Tomorrow isn't slated for release until July 2027. Even if he did step down as studio head before release, he could still remain creatively involved in the film and its marketing. While the framing is dramatic, the reality could be routine. And then speculation around Zack Snyder. Cosmic Book News says they approached Zack Snyder for Snyderverse return. They approached Zack Snyder, the outlet claimed, whoever they may be, whether current Warner Brother leadership or potential incoming Paramount Skydance executives, is unclear. The ambiguity adds an extra layer to the skepticism held by some. Snyder's time at DC generated polarized reactions. Fan demand resulted in a 4-hour Snyder cut of Justice League, while audiences generally felt it was superior to the theatrical cut. It failed to move the needle in favor of a franchise revival. Snyder's post-DC output, notably his Rebel Moon films for Netflix, has struggled to capture an audience. Both films currently sit below 40%, bogus rating on the user-run review site Criticlist. The future of that property is questionable. Much of the speculation is tied to broader uncertainty at corporate level. And then they say the potential leadership change at Warner Brothers opens doors to speculation. If Ellis and Paramount merger with the studio passes regulatory approval, it will be one of the biggest shakeups in Hollywood history. Again, it says an ongoing part of the conversation has been the potential return of Snyder. Many arguments have been made for and against the probability of Snyderverse being restored. These latest comments from Cosmic Book News are keeping the idea at the forefront. Okay, guys, I know you know this. Those of you who are watching and have been in here for this whole show know this. This is all bullshit. Complete bullshit. Cosmic Book News, literally, they probably weren't even at WonderCon, number one. Number two, DC Studios wasn't at WonderCon. Where are they getting this? Where are they getting this information? And the fact that That Park Place is running with this is irresponsible of them. Okay, look, I've liked That Park Place for a number of years. I've used them in my videos and things like that for stories, but running Cosmic Book News crap is irresponsible. Very irresponsible. It's getting to the point where he's getting community noted constantly on X now because everything he says is just complete bullshit. And I don't think he realizes that the more and more he does this and the more community notes he gets and the more people that start calling him out, that's it for him. He's going to be done. He's not going to have an outlet. He'll have to rebrand and start something new. But it is complete bullshit. And we know that. First off, let's say James Gunn does decide, you know what? This running studio thing isn't for me. So I'm going to step away. I don't want to do this anymore. Let's say he does do that, okay? This isn't because Cosmic Book News knew this. It's not because anybody told Cosmic Book News this. Because they're just throwing shit at the wall right now and hoping something sticks. So, yeah, that's possible that James Gunn could walk away. I don't think he's going to, but it is a possibility. The fact that they then sit there and try and say that Zack Snyder has been approached for Snyderverse Return? No, they won't do that right now. And I don't see them doing it anytime soon. And who approached them? Who's they? Again, I went over this months ago whenever I highlighted what these fake scoopers will do. What they'll do is this post here is perfect example of what they do. They don't mention who. They don't mention who approached, but they say they approached Zack Snyder for Snyderverse Return. Very quick, very simple, very, very to the point. And it hits a nerve or a part of the Snyderverse fans that they say, Zack it's coming back. It's coming back. Now, you know that there's going to be these YouTubers out there who go run with this story and act like this is fact and it's going to happen. But this is what they do. They don't give you any actual news or information or facts. They just throw something up that will hit on an emotional level with certain people. So then they repost it and they get likes and they get this and they get that. That's all it is. It's complete bullshit. And I'm sorry, but Matt McGloin at Cosmic Book News needs to be called out for it. He needs here's my offer to Matt McGloin. Matt McGloin, come on my show. Come sit with me. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about all your scoops. Let's talk about all the things that you talk about. I want to see it straight from your face, straight from your eyes. I want to look at you in your eyes as you say these things, because I'm telling you right now, you can't say them with a straight face. Not to mention that you don't even like the Snyderverse. You were a fan of James Gunn's Superman. When you came out of theaters, you wear that Superman shirt all the time. I don't think you even have a change of clothes because I think you just wear that all the time. But regardless, Matt McGloin, hit me up. Let's talk. Let's discuss. And until you do, I'm going to keep calling you out for your bullshit because it's irresponsible. It's pathetic. It's sad. And that Park Place, if you guys see this over there, do better. Do better. Because you can do better. You have done better. This is pathetic. This is sad. Do better. All right, guys. Love to hear what you guys have to say about all this in the comments. Love to hear what you guys have to say about everything that we talked about in the comments. Don't forget, The Snyder Effect comes out April 13th on Amazon. You can order it from Amazon. That's where you can get it. It's awesome, guys. Also, I don't think I showed you this, but with the book, with it, if you go to go to slavsfreetalk.com, click the Snyderverse archive, you'll see that, and it is a membership for the Snyder Effect archive. It's $4 one-time charge, or you can pay $2 1 week and $2 next week. However, you can. There's the thing there that you can set up. Once you get in there, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff. You'll see the old cover, that was the placeholder cover, but then you see commentary, updates. So I've made many updates on aspects of the book, abandoned chapters, which there's a couple more that I need to add now that I'm pretty much completed. I mean, I am completed with the book. So there's a couple more I have to add in here. These are the references and articles that I used for reference for writing the book. There's many more I need to put, as well as videos that I watched that that are put in here. So that's awesome. But the cool thing is, if you want to, before it comes out, you can read. Where's it at? Oh, the prologue right here. So update number 1, you can read the prologue for the book, and then update number 9, you can read an excerpt from chapter 1. So right there, you guys can jump on there and support the book, support me, support the archive, all that kind of stuff. That'd be great. And then come April 13th, you can buy the book yourself. So I hope you guys do. I hope you guys buy it. All right. So let's finish up some comments over here. What are you guys saying? Kick Knowledge says he's leeching on John Campia's opinion. Very true. Let's see. Jake from State Farm. Poor Whittle Snyder Bros think Big Bad Gunn is getting fired again. Very true. They'll never not think that. Douglas says Matt McGowan had a clip saying how he liked Superman. He did. Yeah, it's crazy. Blood Ocean. Every actor of the Snyderverse has moved on and deserves to be happy with their life, not what grifters want. Yeah. Douglas says it's not on Amazon paperback in UK. It's not. It should be. Let's see. I will double check that because I thought I put it everywhere. Paperback and yeah, I will take a look at that because I wanted to make sure I got it everywhere. But okay. With that said, I am going to leave you all go. So you guys can have a wonderful rest of your day. You can go watch the Supergirl teaser for tomorrow's trailer multiple times. Try and beat the Spider-Man, the Spider-Man thing. Let's see. Amazon UK. Yeah, it's not available yet. It comes out on the 13th. But it shows amazon.co.uk. Yeah, I have it there. They got, yeah, so it's there. I don't know why you're not seeing it. I don't know why. Sorry. Hopefully it pops up on the 13th. Sid, yes, we saw the teaser today with Corn Sweat. We talked about it a little bit ago. Yeah, the Kindle. Oh, actually, you're right. The Kindle version actually came out already. I accidentally hit publish and you can't unpublish it. So it is there. If you want to get the Kindle version, you can get the Kindle version. But if you want the paperback and the hardback, that'll be on the 13th. Sorry, Doug. Yeah. Kindle is online right now, but no hard copy that I can see in the US. Yeah. I apologize. Yeah. I forgot that it it posts already. Look, this is my first time publishing something on Amazon. And I pressed wrong button for something. It is what it is. Hey, if you want to get the digital copy now, you can get the digital copy now. The paperback and hardback will be on the 13th. So there you go. I apologize. But all right, guys, with all that said, I will catch you all later. And yeah, I guess that's all. Thank you for watching and see you later.